So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm here with my friend, my best friend Abdul Wahid from way back in the day. So, this is one of the first videos I want to talk about, and we want to talk about our beginnings, I guess. So, I think we first met in Glasgow, innit?
In Glasgow, yeah, for the Jamia teachers came over for the 2-week Dawah.
So I had been Muslim about 2 years at the time. I think I became Muslim in college. I had a year in college. And after that year, so it was a year after college, you asked me to become Muslim.
So when was it? 2000?
No, 1999. 1999, that's a long time away now, isn't it? 1999, for old. Anyway, went over there 2 weeks, spent a night in Glasgow Masjid.
Yep.
Lots of memories, good memories. It was me, you, Dhul Fiqar. Dhul Fiqar, assalamu alaikum.
Islam, Faisal.
Faisal, don't forget Faisal. It's fine face there.
Red Hill.
Red Hill, Faisal. Lots of us, we applied.
Abdullah from Manchester.
So we were there for 2 weeks. Teachers in the Jamia came over, and they just gave like little durus, lessons, Tawheed, Islam, Sirah, Da'wah stuff, and we stayed the night over there. And at the end of the 2 weeks, then they had an interview, and that was it, innit?
Yep.
That was it. I think the first year, me and the Fiqar got in.
Yeah.
And I think the second year you got in.
I got in after that, yeah.
Yeah, got in after that. Train. Anyway, and then
and
we got
Mujahid.
Mujahid.
Scotlandy, the true
Mujahid Scotlandy. Was it the true Braveheart, innit? Where's he at now anyway? He's still in Saudi?
Oh, I don't know. No, he's back. I'm sure he's back now.
Assalamu alaikum. If you can see, if you give me a shout, inshallah, if you see us. Anyway, and then after that, it was in Medina. In Medina, we had our years in the Shu'bah, learning Deen. For those who don't realise, in Medina Uni, we had the university, but then for those who didn't know Arabic, we had what's called the Shu'bah, or the Arabic Institute, that was supposed to teach you Arabic before you got there. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's 2 years. I do remember the one thing about Shu'bah. I think some people always wonder, you don't know a word of Arabic and they're teaching you in Arabic. How do you actually learn Arabic when you don't understand Arabic, the language they're teaching you in? And to be honest with you, I remember one of the brothers, he used to get upset with the teacher. I don't want to mention his name because he didn't finish. He ended up leaving Shu'bah and going and working as a teacher somewhere. But he'll get frustrated because the teacher speaks to him in Arabic, asking him a question, and he said, I don't understand Arabic, so how can I answer you?
SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
But there's one particular chap, Chinese fella, he came, and this just shows you, SubhanAllah, the different levels of people who started the Jamia. He came, teacher goes to him, read Surah Fatiha, and the guy was like, it's in Arabic, isn't it? No one knows what he's talking about. So there's one Chinese guy goes, he goes, they had a little dialogue, and the guy goes, I don't even know what Fatiha is. SubhanAllah, wow. The guy got accepted to Medina University, and he had no idea what Fatiha was.
Was he a convert or?
Yeah, he must have been. I never got to ask, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that was how it was. There were students in your class all over the world. We had South Americans, we had Japanese, Mexicans, Argentinians, everywhere. And none of us knew. I mean, if there was a common language, it would be English, if anything.
Yeah.
And just had to learn. And I want to draw a very good point about that in regards to learning Arabic. Now, people, they come and they sign up to classes and they want to learn Arabic. I even just the other day got a phone call. Sister calls and she says to me, I want to learn Arabic in a year.
Yeah.
I just said to her point blank, that's not realistic. And I wanted to tell her the reason why, but she hung up. But anyway, literally just cut the call like that. Anyway, I was going to say, if you're watching this, what I was going to tell you was that we was in Shu'bah for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and even then the minimum was 2 years. The minimum you could study was 2 whole years.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sign up for a class for 2 hours a week, don't expect something fantastic to occur. It's not like
definitely not in a year anyway.
Not in a year. I mean, it wasn't going to. And we were in an intensive curriculum where we were forced to speak Arabic because the teacher spoke Arabic. Yeah. When we left the Shu'bah, when we left the Ma'had or the institute, everyone around us spoke Arabic.
Yeah. On that note then, if you're studying Arabic in the UK, going to 1 lesson a week, 2 hours, what do you think is a realistic time expectation? Because I always say to my students, look, if you're going to do a degree, you're going to be doing it for 3 years, 4 years. Set yourself a 4-year goal that by 4 years you're going to understand, be able to communicate a bit, understand the Quran, understand the Arabic language, understand Nahu. What do you think?
I mean, from experience, because me and Abdullah had been, after we graduated in 2008, I think it's just 10 years now, isn't it? 10 years we've been doing Arabic, so we've got a lot of experience of people learning Arabic. Getting your foot in the door, I would say, like understanding basics of sentences, even Quran. I think book two, you're getting there. When you think halfway to the end, you can start understanding verses of the Quran.
Book 2 meaning Medina book 2.
Medina book 2, yeah, sorry. That's the point. Medina book 2. You're looking at 4 years. 4 years from absolute nothing. That's even learning Alif Bata, absolute nothing. First year, you're looking at book 1 and 2. Second year, you're looking at maybe finishing book 2, a little vocabulary, phrases and whatnot. And then you start in GCSE. And then you maybe get to A level in your 4th year. But that's realistically to get a level whereby you are now ready for independent study. I would say that's probably the goal, isn't it? Yeah. And that's kind of what the Shu'bah was, or the institute with Medina University. So, we finished Shu'bah, what are we doing?
Can we talk about your glasses?
Go on, go for it.
I love the glasses.
Go on, wear them. Be a boss, man. Be boss.
Ollie, what are you?
Be the boss, man.
Only you can
wear the glasses,
I'm
brother.
put the glasses.
Go on, put the glasses on.
They're not going to suit me,
though. It will suit you,
not
brother.
Like they suit you. I can't wear glasses.
Do it, man. Do it, man.
Right,
just do it, man. Just do it.
What is it? What are you saying?
No, leave them on. Khalas.
No, I can't do it. You have to just don them for a minute. Let's have a look. Yeah.
Sting is not even sunny, so
it's not sunny.
There's no point. Anyway, so we finished the Shu'bah, and we chose, which faculty did you choose?
Sharia.
Why did we choose that?
Okay, all of the students either go to one of 3 faculties. Either Sharia, where you study mainly fiqh, Hadith, where you study mainly the science of research in Hadith and the grading Hadith to be authentic or weak, or Kulliyat Da'wah, where you study mainly Tawheed and Seerah. So, coming back, thinking you're going to come back to the UK, people are going to be asking you questions about their daily lives. How do you calculate zakat, for example? That video that you did recently, Jazakumullah khair, great video. Fiqh seemed to be the main subject. Also, not to mention, it was the first kulliyah which was founded when the Islamic University was open, to show its importance. Yeah. That's mine.
I mean, there was da'wah. There was someone who went to the faculty of da'wah, and that's also important.
Yeah.
I think we kind of considered those who went to da'wah was like the jack of all trades, because they studied a bit of everything in balance. More aqidah, more Islamic creed, but you kind of had an overall. There's the most balanced, I would say. All the other faculties, you had a strong leaning towards your avenue, like for example, fiqh.
Yeah.
We had special subjects that others didn't have, like qada, judicial law, Islamic inheritance. We had a lot of that.
Yeah.
We had Islamic economics.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things related to the Sharia, Hadith. They had subjects related to Hadith that others never had, and likewise Quran. But Da'wah was a jack of all trades. So you chose
Sharia. I got a quick story about that as well. When I chose, you choose your kulliyah, but then they tried to allocate me to Kulliyat Dawah. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, they decided that I'd be suited in Dawah.
Yeah.
But I went to the Mudir's office, I went to the headmaster's office or the principal's office. I said, no, I'm not going to go Dawah, I'm going to go Sharia because that's what I want to do. He said, no, you should go Dawah. We had a bit of an argument, but I held my ground and I ended up in Sharia. So the lesson from that is, if you want something, don't let someone tell you no, especially if that thing's going to be good. Hold your ground. Sharia it was, and that's where I ended up.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, Sharia, for me, the reason I chose Sharia was exactly that. It seemed like the most applicable subject for what I wanted to do when I graduated. Also, I think it was about that time when we graduated, where I think we had the Mustawa Khamis, the 5th level, when we started to learn about what Usul al-Fiqh was.
Yeah. And
Usul al-Fiqh really blew my mind, because it was a subject. We know Hadith. Hadith is about saying Hadith is authentic or not authentic. Studying Sunnah, we get that. Quran, you have studying the recitation of the Quran, we get that. All these things we get about Islam, but Usul al-Fiqh was a subject which was a bit of an enigma. What is it? What does it do? And when I realized, we found out that Usul al-Fiqh is basically the doors to understanding the text, I just felt I got to do that one.
Yeah.
I need to get those keys, because it's all good and well knowing the Hadith is authentic or not, but once you've established its authenticity, how do I extract information out of it? So that was kind of, for me, the main thing out of
I
it.
think the two words that people use is the riwayah and diraya, isn't it?
Riwayah and diraya, yeah. So the riwayah is the narration,
The authentic.
and diraya is the understanding.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone knows the word, the phrase la adri, I mean, I don't know. So that adri is from diraya, it's to have knowledge. So we're now in Sharia. Who's the most influential teacher and subject?
There are a load of great teachers in the Jamia, generally speaking. But also sometimes you get the opportunity to sit with one of the teachers who's also a sheikh who's teaching in the haram and stuff like that. So obviously, you know, Sheikh Abdul Muhsin Al-Abad taught us in Sharia, taught us hadith. But one of the best teachers I remember having is for Tawheed of Asma wa Sifat, and it was Sheikh Saleh Sindhi.
MashaAllah.
He taught Tawheed, and it was really, what was really good about it, he had the mudhakira on.
What's mudhakira about for those that know?
He had his own compilation of principles that are used to understand Aqidah correctly. For example, Al-Masdar Talaqi Al-Quran wa Sunnah. So this is a principle, i.e. the source of, I guess, taking your knowledge or your information is the Quran and the Sunnah. So this is a principle, and he mentioned evidence, he mentioned 10 principles, and that was really eye-opening for me, because that's when I first got into Qawa'id, and principles, which is Qawa'id or maxims, are really important to understand the deen, because it compiles a lot of issues under one issue. So the principles, it's like a shortcut basically. Yeah, so the principles, it was a real eye-opener for me, especially because it was in the first year as well anyway. And as you know, the faculty of Sharia is usul al-fiqh, is principles that allow you to understand the religion.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most important thing when it comes to, for a young, new student of knowledge who wants to study deen, is to focus on the principles. And the reason why it's important to focus on principles is because they lead to so many other things. As in, you can study, for example, this particular ruling and that particular ruling and this particular saying and this particular thing, and that's all great, you're learning. But when you learn one principle, it will open up to you all the answers in one go. And that's one of the key things why I chose to go Sharia in the first place. Okay, so we finished the 4 years and we graduated, and at the end, I think we all kind of got together and thought to ourselves, what we're going to do? What's going to be our plan? We've now finished 7 years. I was there for, how long were you there for? 6 years in another country. And it was me, I was literally, as I left college, I went to Medina University, so literally I'm like 20 odd. Not really worked in the UK. And everyone's worried about how they're going to provide for their families. And
I think students still have this concern up to today.
Yeah, because
students at the Jamia are wondering what they can do when they come back.
Because generally speaking, when you graduate with Islamic studies, you're not going to become a stocks trader or something. You're going to get a big job. Everyone wants to live comfortably, but how do you live comfortably after just studying deen? It's not something that does that. So we're all concerned with what we will do. We all had different ideas. Prior to graduating, because I had taught some Arabic classes and some holiday, I had a vision of I want to set up an institute to teach Arabic. So when I graduated, that's kind of what I did. Then you worked with Croydon ICT?
Yeah. So there was a new mosque, a masjid that got set up, Croydon ICT. So I became the imam of that masjid. I was there for 4 years. So I walked straight pretty much into the job. But my plan wasn't to come back. My plan was to stay over there and be an English teacher, because I was so comfortable and happy.
Most people like that.
Yeah, most people like that.
I mean, I think if everyone had the chance to, they would stay in Saudi. I mean, even me, I would have stayed in Saudi, except that I wanted to set up something that would continue even once I've left. That was always the vision. The vision was, I remember I said, I'm going to give it 10 years, and then after 10 years, I'm gone. It's 10 years now, isn't it? It's 10 years. I'm still here.
No, inshallah,
what's going on?
Still building.
Why are we still here?
Inshallah,
why are we still here? Anyway.
Well, this is dawah. That one thing which you can't I don't think you can undervalue, which is the impact that you have, and you don't know the impact you have on other people through, answering their questions, through giving them advice, giving them some type of direction and guidance when they come to you, motivating them to do, to improve themselves. That you don't know the result of. So
I mean,
you can't put a value on it.
I mean, the problem with
and that wouldn't have happened if I stayed in.
That's the thing.
Saudi,
if you're in Saudi,
English teacher.
If you're in Saudi, even if you've got a degree from Islamic law, story, okay. Brother, story. I had a child in Saudi. Get the paperwork, the birth certificate, get this, get that, the usual run around. I've gone to the British consulate. I've gone with my paperwork to get the passport so we can be able to leave the country. I'm at the front door and there's a security guard there, and he says to me, "Anta talib al-jami'a?"
Front door meaning the check you're about to leave.
Huh?
Front door of the
Consulate. As I'm going to the consulate, I'm at the front door. They're doing security checks. Yeah. So I'm going there, and the guy says, "Are you a student in the university?" I said, "Yeah, mashallah." And he spoke to me in Arabic, so I was quite impressed. The British consulate have got a security guard speaks Arabic.
Yeah.
It's alright. And he goes to me, "MashaAllah, أنا تخرجت من Sharia. I graduated from the faculty of Sharia." I'm like,
SubhanAllah, look at that.
What are you doing here then? Bro, I'm not going to criticise the brother. Yeah. Obviously, he's got to pay his bills and deal with his family.
Yeah.
But you find in this world, you have people all over the place in different faculties of life, and they may have something so much to give, but they're not doing it. I mean, hopefully, he at some point he's done it or he's doing it. But I was just surprised to find someone who was a security guard at the British consulate was a graduate from the faculty of Sharia. So that could have been anyone.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is as well, on this point, I think that it's what to say. If a person, for example, say you do graduate, and the opportunity to teach or to give dawah it's not there for you for whatever reason. I know there's a few brothers that came back, they were active, they were wanting to give dawah, but the masajid's doors were closed. They didn't have a place to give dawah.
Which is a problem.
Which is a problem.
Yeah.
And they have to work. And it's not like it's a Muslim country where you can get an office job in a courthouse because you've got a Sharia qualification, or you can work that's not an option.
I mean, even in Saudi, if you've graduated from faculty of Sharia, you can actually jump up some of you can actually get a promotion before you even start your job. Like if you become a police sergeant on your first day because you have a Sharia degree.
Background, exactly.
So there's already something in there for you.
But here, if you get a Sharia degree, this is the reality of the Jamia Islamiyya studies, and which needs emphasising. When you do it, you're generally doing it not for the paper. You're doing it for Allah because you love knowledge, because you want to increase your knowledge, you want to benefit other people. Because the paper itself is not going to give, if you're from the West specifically, it's not necessarily going to give you a job at all. So you're generally doing it, for Allah, which is fi sabilillah. That's the reality of the situation. Which is why if someone does come back and get a job doing something else, I don't see it as being and that's my view on it. It's almost like
no, there's nothing wrong with it. But what you say is that you try and maximise what you have. Yeah. And for example. So what you can do, for example, you can always try your best to keep active.
Yeah.
And we know some du'at, they haven't got a cushy job in a masjid or institute, but they're producing YouTube videos.
No, it's a cushy job, by the way.
No, it's not cushy. But I'm saying they've got a job doing what they would like to do, or somewhat. But what they can always keep active is if they're giving da'wah on the streets, on YouTube videos. And I think I passed a video over to you the other day about passive and active rewards. Active rewards is basically you're teaching right now live a classroom that's active, whereas passive is producing materials that even when you're not teaching, you're still benefiting and getting reward. And that's something that every person who has some knowledge should try their best to try and put forward some kind of passive income, you could almost say. And I don't mean monetary income, I'm talking about reward on your good deeds. Sadaqah jariyah. That's what it is. It's sadaqah jariyah. So that at least if they pass away, there's something still going on.
Like today, Shaykh Uthaymin, all these books that everyone still benefits from, Imam Nawawi, all of the scholars.
Definitely, Ibn Uthaymin is one of the classic examples of I'll probably say that what he actually achieved in reward in his lifetime, probably what is not even as much as he got after his death. All his tapes were put into books form, readily available in almost every language. And those who actually attended his harakat in the masajid were a fraction of those who actually benefited from him overall. So
passive reward, passive income,
passive
ongoing after you've passed away.
Ajr. Where is he? He's back again, So since we graduated, I've pretty much been doing the same thing over and over and over again. I think I used to at an institute here, which we are now, Medina College, and we practically do the same things. Teaching Arabic, we've got madrasa, and you'll see obviously a little show around of the institute we have here.
Islamic courses, community iftars,
helping people to know about Islam. Workshop. We've done workshops. Remember, we did a workshop in that council. What was it?
Yeah,
Islington?
Islington Council.
Islington Council.
New Muslim workshops.
We had a mayor there coming in it.
Yeah.
Mayor coming in about Islam. So that's pretty much what we've been doing since we've graduated. I just wanted to give a little introduction as to me and my friend Abdul Wahid and what we've been doing since we've graduated. Hopefully what we've said might inspire others to go and seek knowledge. No one really, and I never anticipated that from becoming Muslim, a year after that I'll be on this journey that I'm on now.
Yeah.
And subhanAllah, think about the reward of the brother who gave me dawah in the first place, introduced me to Islam.
Yeah, same here.
See, people enjoy. Imagine you gave dawah to someone who took shahada, who ended up being someone who gives dawah. That means every time someone become Muslim on their hands, you get a reward on that regards.
And no one's reward decreases as well.
And no one's reward decreases.
Everyone gets reward. The cake doesn't get smaller.
That's a good one.
When you cut it.
Alhamdulillah. Anyway, inshallah, we'll see you another time, inshallah, next video. It's a bit of a long one today, but inshallah, we find it beneficial. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.